The ad we're about to check is from Janelle Stelson, the Democrat running against Congressman Scott Perry in the 10th District. The ad is about House Resolution 431, which was introduced in the U.S. House last year. There are two claims to check. Here's the first.
This is H.R. 431, the bill to ban all abortions in Pennsylvania and nationwide.
Is that what the bill would do? Let's take a look. H.R. 431 is known as the Life at Conception Act. The text says it would implement equal protection for the right of life of each born and preborn human person. It defines a human person to include the moment of fertilization. The bill also adds that nothing in the bill should, quote, be construed to authorize the prosecution of any woman for the death of her unborn child. You'll notice the words abortion ban do not appear in the bill. But we did find how the congressman who wrote the bill, Republican Alex Mooney from West Virginia, described it. In an op-ed about the bill in 2021, before the Supreme Court reversed federal abortion protections in Roe v. Wade, Mooney wrote this: if passed, the Life at Conception Act would overturn the ill-conceived Roe v. Wade decision and save millions of lives. In the same op-ed, he wrote, quote, there is no right to abortion in the U.S. Constitution. The National Pro-Life Alliance also says on its website that pro-life lawmakers can pass a Life at Conception Act and end abortion. So we find Stelson's characterization of what H.R. 431 would do is true. Here's the next claim.
And right on page 1 is Congressman Scott Perry. Perry would ban abortion with no exceptions, even for victims of rape.
Perry did co-sponsor the Life at Conception Act. That's why his name is on the first page. As for the bill itself, other than the line about how it would not authorize the prosecution of any woman for the death of an unborn child, it does not carve out any exceptions for abortion. So since Perry signed on to the bill, and since the bill does not note any exceptions, we find Stelson's claim about Perry and H.R. 431 are true. But there is some more context to add. A Life at Conception bill with the exact same language as H.R. 431 has been introduced in Congress in at least the last 5 sessions dating back to 2015. News 8 found that Perry co-sponsored that bill 4 times in each session since 2017. We also found this. Perry, on his official government website, on a page called Right to Life, does say that any law about abortion should include exceptions for rape, incest, and the precious life of the mother. His campaign told us the same. So I asked his campaign several times to explain why Perry supported the Life at Conception bill, which makes no mention of exceptions, and if he would support it if it were to come to a vote in Congress again. Perry's campaign has not responded to those questions. Getting the facts, Matt Barquero, WGAL News 8.